While there may be no government trash service in West Odessa, the environmental enforcement is finding those who don't dispose of their trash properly. Well, guys, I'm standing along Davis Road here in Big Spring, and just through this brush behind me is the oil tank, and you could still smell the oil that leaked here. While courses are being offered here on campus, students won't be going to class in person all the time. They'll be spending half the week attending their classes from home in a completely virtual setting. Hey, good evening, Jacob and Katie. On Halloween night, you could expect many trick-or-treaters to be roaming the streets and neighborhoods like the one I'm standing in right now, but there are a couple of safety tips you should keep in mind this Halloween. To prevent serious damage to your children's vision, Dr. Jackman recommends parents limit the amount of time their kids actually spend looking into a screen. Residents who receive this jury summons will be required to show up here at Barn G at the Ector County Coliseum on October 5th, and safety measures will be taken during selections. And the main lanes on Interstate 20 and 10 have been treated to minimize ice and snow. Highway 191, Loop 250, 338, and Business 20 have also been treated. Now, TxDOT says to make sure your car is well maintained before heading out onto the road. Reporting live in Odessa, I'm Mark Ramirez, Big 2 News. The Texas Education Agency says students will have to take the STAR test, but the agency says because of the disruptions caused by the pandemic, they will do away with the A to F ratings for the school year. SpaceX is launching into the future and watching out for wildlife while they're at it. The executive director of Sea Turtle Inc. says SpaceX allows them to use their drone equipment and ATVs to patrol for turtle activity before and after every launch. One man is dead after an early morning crash in Odessa. According to OPD, 21-year-old Javier Ortiz Jr. was traveling west on 38th Street before he lost control of his vehicle and struck a telephone pole and tree. Governor Greg Abbott is encouraging Texans to support small businesses this Saturday. According to the governor, small businesses make up more than 99% of all business in the Lone Star State.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced schools across Texas to switch to virtual learning. But how has this impacted special needs schools? Big 2's Marco Ramirez visited a special education school in Midland today. He joins us live in studio. So, Marco, what kind of challenges are they facing?
Well, Gianna, staff at Bynum School in Midland had to adapt quickly to virtual learning back in March, but the school is still making sure all students and parents get the resources they need.
Suddenly you have to be caretaker during the day instead of sending your child to school.
For the last year, Sarah Soulsby's daughter has been a student at the Bynum School for Special Needs Children, but the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak posed a challenge.
The kids here, they get so many therapies, they get so many, extra things on top of just their academic education. There was a lot of fear of regression, of my kid not, progressing with her, social delays and speech delays and things like that.
While Soulsby kept her daughter home for 2 months in the spring, she's not the only parent who has become a full-time caretaker. Executive Director Dr. William Maurer says Bynum School is continuing to provide the resources, even though some students may not be in the building.
We're able to provide some distance learning. Even some of our therapies were provided online. Our teachers also prepared learning packets for students so that parents could come and pick them up.
Since Bynum is a year-round school, they have returned to in-person classes with precautions. Soulsby has now let her daughter return to school and is comfortable in doing so.
I feel like my daughter's safer here than if I took her to the grocery store, where a lot of people are taking off their masks. I've never seen anybody even have their mask below their nose here.
And Soulsby hopes the public will do their part so that all children can go back to school safely.
Out of everybody in this pandemic, our children are the ones that it's worth us at least trying to protect. So if what we have to do is wear a mask and, wash our hands so that our children can be safe and go to school, that's what we all need to be doing.
And while Bynum School is open for in-person classes, they are still giving parents the option to keep their children home. Bynum says they're also waiting on guidance from the state to determine what are the precautions they need to take for this fall.
Big 2's Marco Ramirez went out to see how Odessans feel about this decision. Differing opinions on this, Marco.
Hey, good evening, Katie. There's a lot of mixed reaction on this mayoral declaration being extended, but there's one thing Odessans can agree on, and that is to get a hold of this pandemic.
If you're going to walk around without a mask, you are also putting other people in danger as well.
While the city of Odessa continues to see a rise in COVID-19 cases, the city council has agreed to extend Mayor David Turner's declaration to enforce face masks in all local businesses. Odessans like Rochelle Smith, who's a teacher at ECISD, thinks this step could at least slow the spread and keep educators like her safe.
If you're a business and you want to stay open, I think you should, honor what the city is asking you to do, and you should also be responsible enough to protect your customers.
Other Odessans like Jamie Lujan think the mayor should not be stepping on local business owners' toes.
So the mayor can't tell other businesses how to run their business. There's some businesses that aren't going to comply with that, and rightfully so, because it is their own business. Even though Lujan thinks a mandate violates his personal freedoms, he still carries a mask with him. If I'm going to support a local business and that local business says, sir, can you put on your mask? Out of respect, yes, I would. But while Ector County has seen 151 deaths and over 9,000 cases, Odessans like Pamela Peterson say this mandate has come too late.
But I think lives should be the #1 thing to get this issue resolved instead of trying to operate a business to make a few dollars when we're losing millions of individuals behind it.
Now that this mandate has gone into effect, Odessans like Smith hope the community will protect each other.
This whole thing is just blown out of complete proportions that no one could ever think of, and so let's keep our children safe, let's keep the community safe.
Now, according to this mayoral declaration, any business that disregards this mandate will be fined $250. Now, the city will continue to encourage everyone to mask up and to socially distance as best as possible. Reporting live in Odessa, I'm Mark Ramirez, Big 2 News.
Students and staff at Travis Elementary spent today supporting their beloved teacher whose son needs a heart transplant. Good evening. I'm Katie Orth. Big 2's Marco Ramirez visited the school today. He joins us now live in Odessa with the story. Marco.
Good evening, Katie. Students here at Travis Elementary spent today not only to support their teacher's son through this health battle, but to also learn more about heart health.
Iron Man has an electronical heart, right? Well, think of this as my electronical heart.
For his entire life, Nico McLemore has been battling through a heart defect, and these few months have been the most challenging. His mother, Shanna Kay, is a teacher at Travis Elementary and has spent months out of the classroom to care for her son. But even though McLemore is not with her students and colleagues, they are still showing their love.
The whole staff has just rallied around her and sent thoughts, sent prayers, sent cards, sent gift cards to Miss McLemore, and told her the #1 thing that she needed to take care of was her 18-year-old son, Nico.
Throughout the day, students got to hear about Nico's story. And since today is his birthday, students not only in McLemore's class but throughout the school honor Nico with messages of love and hope.
Rallying together, we realized we needed this day maybe more than Nico needed this day, because it has brought us together. We're not thinking about COVID today. We're not thinking about people in the hospital today. We're thinking about healthy hearts and getting out and being healthy.
And while all the students have been sending support to their beloved Mrs. McLemore, so have the other teachers.
It's just amazing for me to see how the whole staff, the whole team has come together to really make sure that Miss McLemore is taken care of. We have teachers that have donated their sick time for Miss McLemore so she's able to be home with her family and not go, the whole time without a paycheck.
Ms. McLemore says this year has been difficult for her family, but seeing all this support has made fighting this battle a little easier.
It's working. He's getting stronger, and so we're just hoping he continues to get stronger and I will be able to come back.
And Miss McLemore is set to return on December 1st. Now, one thing Nico said to her class that really resonated was to make sure they go home and hug their parents, because for a little while, Nico didn't know if he would be able to do that himself. Reporting live in Odessa, I'm Mark Ramirez, Big 2 News.